Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. A little bit of Grimm up in this piece in the form of their Air Knife. Air Knife India Pale Ale. Let's see what we've got going on here. Mosaic Cashmere and Eldorado hopped, 6.8% India Pale Ale. It doesn't say if it's hazy or not. They actually call out hazy IPA on their cans a lot. So if it doesn't say hazy, I assume it's probably going to have a little bit of haze. But as far as current day haze goes, it probably won't be too crazy. And that's it. I have always loved Grimm's can designs. That's so pretty. Look at that stuff. So yeah, there we go. Such a wild time to be alive, Grimm being the small brewery that they were, to now it's just, oh, it is a hazy. Um, to now, honestly, just getting their stuff. I buy Grimm 8 minutes away from my house from a tiny little place that sells mostly Bud and Coors, man. It's just insane in the world that we live in nowadays. Like I said, I love the can design in this sucker. As far as this beer goes, it looks what you'd expect from kind of like a 6% easy. Give it a whirl. Hold it up. Yeah, I mean, that's not super hazy by traditional standards, but it qualifies. Index finger, off-white head, just south of khaki colored, just rich orange glow to it. Definitely doesn't have that super New England style turbidity, but we're haze. Let's get a nose. Man, that is really fruity. A ton of tropical fruits, a candied kind of, very candied. So I think it's going to come out quite sweet. Very candied, kind of like apricot-y vibes I'm getting off this sucker. So yeah, I mean, you're getting a base citrus out of this that you typically get with all hazy, but it really is this candied tropical fruit. Almost not even candied. Think like dehydrated tropical fruit and apricot. That's kind of how it's coming off for me. So a jammy-esque dehydrated fruitiness with a bit of citrus. It smells like it's going to be a sweet one. It smells like there's a decent amount of residual sugar. So yeah, I mean, it smells the part. Let's dive in. Cheers, y'all. Yeah, it follows through in the taste exactly what you're getting on that nose. Tons, tons of dehydrated tropical fruit and apricot stone fruitiness in here. Again, pineapple, like a mango, kiwi, kind of dehydrated. That can you even dehydrate those fruits? I don't know, but yeah, I think hopefully what I'm trying to say, I can say candied, but I prefer to say dehydrated. That's how it's kind of coming off for me. And then this big kind of stone fruit, this apricot keeps coming to mind. Huge apricot vibes on this sucker. A little bit of citrus thrown in there. A wash of bittering, nothing too crazy. Very generic. Nice mouthfeel. Nothing. It's not turbid, whatever, but it's not going to be confused with thin. A little bit of dryness. It's actually less sweet than I thought it would be, which is kind of I'm appreciating. Yeah, I dig this. It has a bit of West Coast vibes. That bittering builds with each kind of taste. So there's definitely some West Coast DNA in this sucker. And there is bittering here, but it really is just super expressive tropical fruit, stone fruity, dehydrated, candied kind of thing coming off here without being overtly sweet. That's a really cool trick to pull off. That is a super tasty beer. Absolutely fantastic. Man, that's good. Grimm. They know what they're doing, man. You know what they're doing. And honestly, like I said at the beginning of this, it's kind of weird that I can gotta get their stuff so easily. It's this. It wasn't this. There was like 4 or 5 different Grimms, and they're all relatively fresh. So what's the date on this can? Give you guys an idea. A month and a half old, but it's drinking absolutely fantastically. I can see this actually holding up on a shelf, especially in a refrigerator for quite some time because of the kind of beer it is. But yeah, absolutely delicious. Throwing that dehydrated candied tropical fruit, stone fruit, like big time, with this underlying of citrus and this cool kind of bittering that every sip I take reminds me a little bit of a West Coast resininess. Not that big, but it's bigger than what you'd expect for a beer like this. And a drinkable package. Silky mouthfeel, done and done. I dig this beer. I dig this beer quite a bit. Now, what are we talking? What was it? 6.8 again? 6.8. Is this one of the better hazies I've had as of late? Yes. Is it Mount Rushmore Sound? It's on the outside looking at it. There's so many to fight. against with those beers. But this is worthy of being up there, man. It's really good. I have no problem drinking this whole 4-pack that I got, and I might buy some more. Let's put it that way. Value and availability, you pay a premium for these New York breweries. I think I paid 17, 18 bucks for this. It's kind of going rate for Hazies nowadays, so I'm not going to get too hot and bothered over it. Off a shelf and leave you with it. If you like what you like this. If you're in search of that candy, dehydrated, fruity, tropical fruit, stone fruitiness, again, not that there's not citrus in pretty much every hazy, but this is one of those ones that leans heavily in that stone fruit, tropical fruit, but with that kind of not overtly sweet, but kind of candied slash dehydrated kind of vibe. So if you dig on hazies and that's your jam, this is going to be your jam too. So there you go. Review in the books. Hopefully you enjoyed. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the podcasting stuff. Grimm, have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? Have you had this beer? What's your favorite Grimm beer? Anything you want to talk about down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of semi-localish haze right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers, y'all.